We currently have the best deal of the year live now on poodlecfb.com. If you use code FLASH, capital F, you get $65 off the annual plan, or if you use code FLASH 2025, capital F, you get $6 off the monthly plan. You unlock exclusive spreadsheets, in-depth info, and our members-only Discord. Come join thousands of other members in the fastest growing and best CFB Dynasty community out there. Don't miss out. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB 26 video, and in today's video, EA just dropped the biggest update of the year. Now, before we get into the video, guys, we're running a special today-only video code. If you use code half off, all caps, you get half off the entire annual plan. That is 50% off for the entire year, locked in for life. It is probably the best deal you will ever see on the annual plan. It is for today only. So if you're watching this video, use half off, all caps, no spaces. You get 50% off for life. That's a great deal. Check that out. If you still want to go with the monthly plan, code FLASH is still a great option. Code FLASH 2025, capital F, gets you $7 off the monthly plan for life. Not quite half off, but pretty good if you want to just test it out. Make sure to check it out, guys. We just launched so many new tools, so many new spreadsheet lines. We're currently working through so many of the coaching packages and all these updates. So if you want a direct breakdown of today's update with how it impacts your dynasty with direct questions, does it impact it currently? What else will it impact in a currently ran dynasty? How can I take advantage of this? Come check it out, guys. It is the best place to be. If you're not a part of poodlecfb.com already, you're at a disadvantage, and quite honestly, a lot of your league mates may already be in there. So come join it. Come dominate your dynasty. If you need any help with the tools, we are dropping a whole tutorial in there going over how to use every single tool and everything else you could possibly need. Come check it out, guys. The best and fastest growing CFB 26 community out there. But let's get into the update. So, guys, we have a college football 26 campus huddle title update for August 6th. So we're going to go through the gameplay stuff first, then we're going to work our way down to the dynasty specifics. So we had hard flats behavior. Defenders now stay close to the line and recognize swing routes. As you guys do know, this is actually very frustrating. When someone ran a swing route or some of the RPOs that you could run, the hard flats would just keep backing up on them and wouldn't play them, even though you had it set to play them, which was annoying. Cover 2 Tampa, the middle defender now gets deeper, maintaining better leverage. I do like that because that cover 2 Tampa actually works really well this year. The one thing is you still could kind of beat that middle defender in that intermediate range. So now they get a little bit deeper, which should help, especially in 3v1 formations, which is great, especially when you're doing like a trips left or a trips left verts. That's very annoying, especially for that middle defender. Cover 3 match, improvements for defenders when reacting to slot wide receivers attempting to out leverage. Cover 2 match, cover 4 quarters, cover 4 palms, and cover 6. All of this is really just stopping one play touchdowns, stopping a few receivers getting better leverage, and a few guys not playing. This was huge. A lot of you guys have been complaining about defense. Again, not exactly dynasty related, but gameplay as a whole. Defense has been a little problematic. I find it, I'm still running it fine, but it requires a lot more work on my end to make sure one play touchdowns don't happen and that match works the way it's supposed to work, or canceling match. This should help people a lot who aren't doing all that. Pass blocking and pass rush, a big thing this game. Resolved issues where quarterback animations prevented players from making adjustments and blocking the running back. That was annoying. Protection menu now closes after making an adjustment. That was annoying when that got stuck up and I couldn't get it off my screen. They have blocking logic improvements, which is great. Pocket behavior tuning to decrease the likelihood of pass blockers staying in double teams. Reduce frequency of illegal downfield penalties. Edge rushers now better recognized when they're out leveraged by a scrambling quarterback. Difficulty tuning, increased pass rush effectiveness on Heisman and All-American. I saw that on Twitter before I started making this video. That is kind of crazy. It was already like, you already could barely pass with how good the pass rush is. They did decrease it on lower difficulties, which I guess is fair. If you're going to play on pro or rookie, whatever it is, it should be a little bit easier for you to learn the game. Could be a good way to like scale up slowly. But Heisman and All-American were already pretty crazy. I'm kind of confused by that one, but everything else is fine. Run block and run shedding, targeted fixes. Resolved issues where blockers missed or switched targets in open field. That was so frustrating. Running like a pitch to the right or an inside zone or a halfback base with a lead blocker, and they would just run past the only guy stopping you from the end zone. It's ruined so many different in-game plays for me. So that's good, and it seems like that's kind of the whole logic there. Engagement and shedding. Defenders leverage now appropriately affects blocking outcomes. Same thing, if you're running an outside stretch and your tackle has leverage on the inside end that's not on the edge entirely, and they turn their shoulders inside, I should have the complete outside, but they were able to block shed easily there. If you have leverage, which is how run game works, if people are outside and you run inside zone, you should be able to split the middle. If they're more condensed and pinch and you do an outside zone, you should be able to get the edge. It seemed this year it wasn't exactly like that. There was a lot of instances where I would change to an inside run because I had the middle leverage, and it still blocked shit. They realistically shed better in short yard situations. Edge players no longer disengage inside or take unrealistic inside angles. Reduced defender control on block steering animations. Defenders with big ratings advantages now trigger super win animations. That's terrifying. Fixed issues where edge rushers didn't respond properly. That's fine. Run fits and pursuit were improved. Definitely helpful, especially on jet motions and stuff like that. Playbooks, I'm not going to go through all the playbook stuff. Feel free to head on over to EA.com or the CFB 26 section. Go to the news and like the press release style section. You can find all that. Let's get to Dynasty. We've added 2 new awards in the trophy room. The Sean Alexander Award was added for the best freshman of the year, and the Jet Award, which was given to the best special teams returner. That's fine. Now let's get into the big stuff. To help players make better decisions when determining who to target in the transfer portal, career wear and tear is now shown on the transfer portal spreadsheet. I love that, guys. I thought that was huge because that's one of those things that do matter. If you're bringing in a running back in a senior year, sophomore year, freshman year, whatever it is, and their wear and tear and their senior year is basically green, never used, great pickup. If you're picking up a junior or sophomore who was ran into the ground and his career wear and tear is really high, this could be a great way for you to pivot off and understand it's a rental player or you don't want him at all. So that is absolutely awesome. Corrected an issue where lighting in game times. Now in game times properly reflect local time. That means that a 9 p.m. Eastern time game in Hawaii will correctly be a 3 p.m. local time. Added new scheduling rules for non-Eastern time teams to ensure the games start correctly. Additional rules and limitations. That's fine. Here we go. Tuned ability prerequisites to better align with positional archetypes. Pocket Disruptor for pure power and Power Rusher no longer require power move. So interesting that Pocket Disruptor for pure power and Power Rusher don't require power move. I would feel like that should, to some extent, require power move. Pocket Disruptor for Speed Rusher no longer requires finesse move. That seems backwards to me, but okay. Updated skill groups for many archetypes to ensure they have access to every ability for their archetype, especially toughness. Exception for the dot ability on gadget receivers for balance purposes. In rare situations, a gadget receiver can still be generated with dot. Multiple fixes for playing style grades across various archetypes. Playing style was so annoying. Updated box specialist to use defensive rush yards against per game. And updated signal caller playing style rank to use the correct ordering. So guys, over on poodlecfb.com, we actually had a spreadsheet for all the play styles, and we literally had this in there, which is crazy, that we already realized that box signal caller or signal caller wasn't working correctly, as well as box specialist. So we have all those lined up in there because it was telling you to do one thing, but it didn't make sense. Box specialist should use defensive rush yards against, not exactly interceptions if you're trying to have a box specialist play the run, and a few other things, right? Increased speed and accelerations for safeties. That is huge, especially for 3 and 4 star coverage specialists. I'm currently recruiting in my main league a coverage specialist who has an 84 speed. What I told myself is the ceiling's probably at least a 90, but that's going to be so expensive. Starting in 84 is like a death sentence. It will cost you so many points to get that speed up that even if you can get it to a 92, it will take forever. So thankfully they did that. I feel like there's a few other positions that could utilize a speed boost, but neither here nor there. The Pro Potential My School grade now properly updates after draft results and before the start of the transfer portal. That's huge. First, I hated getting into the transfer portal and my Pro Potential didn't accurately impact it. Also, because of the fact of how you look at it and how you view it, a lot of people are questioning whether or not it even worked. So there we go. There's our confirmation that something wasn't working. Increase the number of players in the transfer portal who start in the open status. Yeah, so that was something even last year was worse. So, this year seems better. Last year, you would open it up and have no access to the first 100. Now open status is a lot higher, which does mean when an Arch Manning opens up, that may be open to everyone to fight for. While before, you could have Arch Manning and he was only open to Texas and a local small Texas team, and it was a user league, so the local small Texas team would win it because there's no users on big schools. Now, if everyone's available, the elite recruiter guy at LSU or the elite recruiter guy from Bama can hop in and beat you out. So definitely makes the transfer portal a bit crazier. When in the record screen, switching between national season game tabs will now maintain your current filter. That's really cool. I hated when you switch things and you lose your filter. Updated Boise State rushing touchdown record. That's fine. Super Sim, they reduced the number of pass attempts for AI teams, increased yards per catch for elite wide receiver ones. So basically, if you're simming the game or super simming the game, you'll have more accurate outcomes on stats. Added a weekly summary notification to alert when a player is visiting that week. That is awesome. I love that. Fixed an issue where non-user coaches would appear as vacant. Fixed an issue when you'd be unable to change a player's position after viewing their player card. Guys, if you watched my videos, you've seen me openly rant about the fact that I would go to position changes and go to show you guys how you would exploit it, manipulate it, or how they would lose their skill caps or the issues. And once I showed you their player card, you'd watch me just press B 100 times, go back to the home screen, go back in, and have to relook at them. That was always so annoying, so I'm glad they did fix that. Fixed an issue where team win percentage did not include bowl games. This also fixes an issue where the winning season's coach that was not incrementing properly. That's great to know. Setting the player edit permission settings to commissioner no longer allows non-commissioners to edit height and weight. It is insane that even last year, this has been a problem. That like you could turn off editing for non-commissioners and they could still do height and weight, which was just unreal. When exiting the auto sub screen, you'll now be prompted with a pop-up if you want to save your changes. That's huge. Updated teams' athletic facilities and brand exposure migrates. That's wild that was an issue. Fixed an issue causing team builder my school grades to not align with website grades late in the season. Add the strategist archetype icon to the player module dealbreaker subpanel when a player's dealbreaker has been lowered. That's awesome, because I actually had that problem a lot. I was doing a video for you guys. I don't know if I dropped it yet. A video about strategist, and I remember saying like, and it dropped to a B-, and I sat there and questioned myself. Wait, was it always a B-? Then I started a side league with the same player and saw it was a B. I was like, I knew it wasn't a B-. I knew it was a B, and it went down. But now it'll show a little next to the dealbreaker logo, a little strategist logo for you to go ahead and be like, okay, he's being impacted by strategist, which is awesome. On the lower the bar tier 3 ability. Fixed an issue where FCS teams showed under the ACC filter. Fixed an issue in staff moves where the coach module will display the coach's record. Fixed an issue in custom conferences where you could add a school to the conference they're already in. That's problematic. Custom schedules now show the correct location for neutral site games. That's helpful, especially on online leagues last year when you were doing like neutral site games and trying to figure out who was home and away. They got better with it this year, but that certainly was annoying last year. Added a counter to the formation subs displaying the total number of subs that have been made. I love that. Because when I'm doing it, I'm like, how many things have I done? Should I do more? Did I do too many? I love that it shows how many subs you have, so you can kind of see like how much you went through or if you didn't go through enough. I'm going to skip Road to Glory because that's not my wheelhouse. I'm going to skip Ultimate Team because that's not my wheelhouse. Let's see if we can go through some presentation, player equipment and uniforms. Adjusted neck length and helmet fitment on most players. Adjusted hair. I'm not much of an equipment guy. I know a lot of you guys may be, but this is a pretty interesting read if you want to go through. Nothing crazy. Some updated uniform assets. Some newer updated home and away. Some teams here that are notable. There's Ohio, Notre Dame, Boston College, Tennessee, Tulane, Tulsa, Iowa State, Mississippi State, Cincinnati. And then you can see these here. Not many big teams down here. You have North Carolina. You have Houston. You have Temple, Cincinnati again, Toledo. Solid stuff here. Crowd updates, increased crowd reactions to big moments. I do like that. I always hated when it would be like the first quarter on like a third down and the crowd's roaring, and then like it'd be the final play of the national championship game on the line and there's like no reaction and the field goal kick's not doing anything. Home field advantage pre-play swell tuning for a different stadium attendance sizes. That's really cool. Updated crowd assets for general pregame. Deep pass and anticipation reactions updated to improve timing. That's pretty cool. As the deep pass is going up, the way they're anticipating it and the way they react. On-field collision sounds. This seems like it's mostly sounds, nothing too crazy here. New crowd themes for these schools. Feel free to go and read that. Some more music and chants, which people may actually like. Mr. Brightside from Missouri, that's pretty awesome. Oregon football theme. We got All Hail Washington State for a Washington State touchdown. The Vols chant Tennessee. Pump It Up to Michigan after a PAT. Good old song for Virginia. More chants for Arizona. And some SFX for Missouri State Cannon. Pretty cool. Some fair catch and consistency on commentary and a few other things they do here. Some new mascots. Appalachian State got one. Virginia, UTEP, JMU, and Memphis. And then there's some field art stuff, guys. That's basically it. This was a huge update, especially for the minuscule things you don't think about up here. Similar, like the play styles, the archetypes, the abilities, and things like that that were just like secretly broken, the my school grades, and a few things not aligning properly. This is a huge fix. It's going to fix a lot of little things that you didn't think about, but that were impacting you, like getting to the transfer portal and being locked out on pro potential, even though you just sent like 4 guys to the NFL draft because it's broken and it wasn't calculating for your transfer portal. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope this update made you guys happy. I think it added a few little things from everywhere that you might like mascots, effects, and equipment. It also fixed some playstyle deal breakers and some like low-key Dynasty problems, and they may have also highlighted a few things that no one even knew were issues. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Make sure to check out poodlecfb.com. Remember, code half off, all caps, no spaces. Today only gets you half off the annual plan. Best deal you'll ever see for the annual plan. It's only today for 24 hours, and it locks you in for life. So as long as you have that active on your account, you can keep the discount for as long as you want. Make sure to check it out, guys. The best place to be if you're a CFB fan. It is the only place to be if you're a CFB Dynasty fan. Fastest growing community. Come join thousands of members, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm out. Peace.